2. The last thing we did was, it was Twitch, wasn't it? Yeah, here we go. Chuffy 1 2. Twitch is rocking and rolling. Yeah, here we go. Chuffy 1 2. I can hear myself. Chuffy 1 2. Hear that nice music? Hear that nice music? I think so. Just a little bit in the background. That's the plan anyway, isn't it? I think so. Just a little bit in the background. That's the plan anyway, isn't it? I think so. Yeah, I think that's all right. If the audio settings want adjusting, you tell me in the chat and I'll change them. So don't need to stress. Here's this. You like this? Go big face. Go big face. Here 10 minutes early for Mental Health Monday. For 2 reasons. One, I've got a reasonably good one planned. But 2, I feel a bit rough, you know. I feel a bit rough. So I'm going to do a bit of chuffing, as always. A bit of chuffing at the start. So I thought I'd get this in early. There's that. You like that? I thought I'd get the chuffing in early. And I've done it. But then what happens is people arrive and then I say again what happened. So I do the chuffing twice. I don't want to do too much. Oh, no. My plan for this evening is to run this for an hour and a bit. It's mental health support, bear in mind. Here every Monday, 8 PM GMT. Every Monday, 8 PM GMT. And I'll do the chuffing. I'll do the chuffing first. I wasn't buffering, I was just thinking. I'll do the chuffing. So everything's cool. Last night, I've been walking the dog, bear in mind, over the weekend quite a bit, 3 times a day. Quite a bit. Doing a bit of walking. And then I was watching this documentary about the 100-foot wave. It was really good. This documentary about these surfers and these... where do they go surfing? They were out on the Nazare, out on the... out in the big waves. Toe surfing, that's it, toe surfing. It's really good. I was enjoying that. I think maybe I just got a bit relaxed on the sofa. You know, when you get a bit relaxed on the sofa. I think maybe it was that. I don't know. Got a bit relaxed, got a bit... like, it seems comfortable, but then when you try and move, you're like, oh, this actually hasn't been that comfortable for a long while. I've just got to set in. So I watched like 4 episodes of this documentary. Then when I tried to move, I was like, oh God, I've got to go to bed and I can hardly walk. What's going on? I think I feel better in the morning, I hope. Otherwise, it's, you know, not good, is it? I do feel kind of better in the morning. Still feel a bit like, oh, it's like if you've got a crick in your neck, but I've got one in my whole body. So wait, of course, I thought the COVID, didn't I? Oh, the COVID. What if it's the COVID? Because on Sunday, I took Marlo to the town, not into the town, just by the river on the outskirts of the town, where there's a big park and like public space, people walk their dogs. I had my mask, but I was walking amongst the public, but it was outdoor. It wasn't in the town. I just wanted to, like, you know, I'm trying to make these steps. I don't know, make these little baby steps back into society in a nice, careful way. So I did that, but could that, you know, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, like, by the time the next day came, could the COVID have just... I don't know, I did a test, it's not COVID, I haven't got COVID. I just feel a bit rough. But the knock-on effect was, oh, I've got to do Mental Health Monday and I feel a bit rough. Well, here we are, you know, we're doing it. So what are you going to do about that? Well, I'm going to have a nice cup of tea. Nice cup of tea. There's another little bit of chuffing I wanted to do, wasn't there? What was the other bit of chuffing I wanted to do? Oh, that was it. That was it. Pure chuff now. What's about to come at you. I'll just show you that you're listening to the Stardew Valley full HQ soundtrack. If you recognise that in the background, you think, oh, what's that nice sound in the background? That's what it is. If you can't hear it properly, it's because I've got it turned down a bit. Maybe I should turn it up so you can hear it like full whack like I can. But now I'm trying to talk over it. Let me check that. Full whack like I can. No, you definitely... That's way too loud. You don't want that. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. If you want to hear it louder, you tell me in chat. If you want to hear it quieter, you tell me in chat. I can't keep checking it. Hear it louder, you tell me in chat. If you want to hear it quieter, you tell me in chat. I'm not one of these that can hear myself in my headphones. I can only hear all this stuff. I don't want to hear myself in the headphones at the same time. Unless it's not... Because there's a delay. Anyway, look. So, we're listening to Stardew Valley. I'm Ganji Kid. We'll get into the 4 minutes before I have to, you know, do this. Proper stuff. What we're doing today. Ooh. 4 minutes before we do that. Bit more chuffing. So, what I wanted to say was, we're back on the ASMR. Remarkably. It's just sort of happened. Back on the old ASMR. Sounds like a drug, doesn't it? Sounds bad. Back on the old ASMR. The old true binaural ASMR there, look. playlists, new wave, guided meditation, hypnosis. I've tidied that up. Look, that's Mental Health Monday there. There we are. Mental Health Monday, the playlist on True Binaural ASMR main page. Because of course, a little story, it's just a little story now. Started making these ASMR videos basically because thanks to you, the Ganji Puka Warriors, got this little setup. It's the closest thing I've got to a little recording studio ever. Got this nice little room set up. It looks nice. It's pretty. Wanted to get podcasting. A bit worried about the old COVID, but using it, ASMR. I know that people like it. I know a lot of people are here through that, so that's cool. You know, let's do some more. I said that. That's it. I've said it. I've got in the can. I've got next week's upload, which is going to be cool, and then I've got an upload for the week after. I haven't edited it yet, it's in the can. And then between that and this recording session, I think I've got enough footage for another lyric video. So I think I've got 3 weeks of ASMR recorded already. That gives us 3 weeks of more. I'm falling into a little routine. Mental Health Monday, every Monday, 8 PM GMT. Saturdays, I've been sitting there doing a little bit of Saturday late night, midnight ASMR. It's coming out this way. That's cool. So that's there. It exists. That's cool. And so do we. Now look, Mental Health Monday exists on that page. So I haven't done any edits for Mental Health Monday yet this year. Yeah. Capital K likes it when I say yeah. We haven't done any edits yet, and we've done one episode that I can edit. I've just got in the back of my mind, like I've been editing this ASMR, and I've just got in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, what are we going to approach it differently this year? I don't know, maybe. How are we going to approach it differently? I don't know what sort of edits, but we've got a playlist there. That's all the videos we've done of the playlist. And what I wanted to say, just bringing this back, because 1 minute to kick off, so 1 minute and I've got to do the introduction, was that the whole reason that we started Mental Health Monday was because people watch the ASMR, the videos on the ASMR channel. They watch these ASMR videos, and a lot of the time it's because they want to sleep. But I noticed at least a decent chunk of people that were watching the ASMR videos had anxiety issues, anxiety complications, felt anxious, social anxiety, all sorts of different, anxiety based. But other mental health issues as well, PTSDs and anger, maybe, whatever, like lots of different ideas. So, like, this is 7 years ago, bear in mind. I was worried about people doing therapies online and saying, oh, my videos are therapy. My videos are therapy for people. Like, it helps people. It helps people, yeah, but is it a therapy? Because the therapy is like therapeutic, actually makes things better, finds the root cause of what's wrong, makes it better. So I made a little, like therapy, art video. These are about art and therapy, and no one understands what I mean. So I also did a video somewhere, it should be around that sort of time, which was answering a comment where it was basically telling people like cognitive behavioural therapy is good and you should have a look at cognitive behavioural therapy. Your chuffer should be down here. I mean, I turn my videos on and off, so maybe I've turned it off. There it is, on ASMR, the answer to your anxiety. So that was my first attempt to sort of say, look, ASMR is good, and it's nice that you're coming here to these videos, and I see it a lot in the comments, and I've got a link to like a mental health charity on my thing, but the answer to your anxiety is possibly, most likely, not listening to somebody. Every time I feel anxious, I listen to a whisper video, and that makes it go away. Oh, thank Chuff for that. Maybe there's something more that we can do to stop it happening in the first place, so you don't have to have this sticking plaster that keeps coming off, and then, oh, I feel anxious again, let's listen to another video. Oh, I feel anxious again. Not keep coming back to it, but something that you can use yourself to just, like, when the anxiety. Anyway, look, so I've said it in a little 5-minute video. I think cognitive behavioural therapy is really good. And I realised, me love blow your mind therapy treatment, that's it again, messing with the concept of therapy. I realised that we need to offer people more than whispering and things. So here's mindfulness videos, starting the mindfulness videos. I didn't really feel my ASMR mojo was working at the time. Things went a bit don't know, there's some really good ones in there actually. My storybook is one of my best ASMR videos ever, in my opinion. But it's my storybook, my opinion, so of course it is. Not everyone else thinks that, but my storybook's good. Anyway, and the binaural hooping, I thought that was a cool, somebody doing hula hooping around the binaural microphone, making sounds. That was cool as well. So I was having some fun. I went away, I returned, whatever. We're back now. And one of the important things, we were uploading Mental Health Monday videos to True Binaural and ASMR. I've deleted them all. No, not deleted, I made them unlisted. They've all gone. They're all gone. I think some of these videos might stop with verbal, then obviously, yeah, exactly, that's it. Like, we need to go to the root cause. So that's what I'm coming around to saying, is that the ASMR itself is like a beacon for people. Like, it helps them, and we need to direct them to the mental health support. So I've taken away the Mental Health Monday videos off this list of ASMR videos. There's not a mental health ASMR video. Maybe I should make a specific ASMR whisper mental health, but I've like I said, I put it there as a ASMR and anxiety video. It's there. I did do a video about it, but just talking, and in the car ramble and on anxiety, I think I talk about CBT and that. So, like, with that in mind, like I was saying, I was putting links and stuff like that at the top. You can still just see the Samaritans and Mind. I've tidied this page up a little bit. We're uploading ASMR again, probably on a weekly basis now. Probably, at the moment, like I said, I've got the next 3 weeks in the can. So if this weekend I can do some more, that can push us to the next 6 weeks. If I can just do that and get ahead of ourselves, I don't want to make any promises. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't want to be like, waving this big flag. Just, it's good that I'm back on the horse, and it's good that this little setup, and thanks to you, it's led to this. If I feel better and in more of a routine, then instead of on a Saturday night, I don't want to go to the pub, and I don't want to be like, spreading COVID around, and I like being creative and quiet in my little room. So, like, if I could filter in ASMR recording day into not what I was doing before as well, talking about mental health, because I haven't done the official introduction yet. Let's carry on with the chuff, and I'll do the official introduction after the chuff. But with the mental health, another point to make about this, actually, because I just tidied up this page recently and added Mental Health Monday. There we are, our playlist. We exist on the page. So that's what I was going on to say, is that now you've got, I've found this ASMR, it's a beacon. In the comments, there'll be the links, Mind, Lifeline, all that. Open an ASMR pub. A quiet boozer. It's just not going to happen, is it? We have that as a terminology in the UK. Or what kind of pub is it? It's just a little quiet boozer. We say that, but they're rarely quiet. Some of these videos, I wanted to say this, look, and so what I wanted to say was good. What am I saying? I'm a little bit discombobulated. I feel a little bit like I've been hit by a bus today. I don't know. I'm not viral infected. I did my COVID test. I'm not. I just feel rough after, I suppose, like I'm doing repeating what I said at the very start again, but I did quite a lot of dog walking, 3 days, 3 times a day, big walks, and then I lay on the sofa and let everything just set into place while I watched 4 hours of television. And then when I got up, I could hardly move. I think I'd cricked my entire body. My toothpaste hurt is better. I've been rigorously cleaning my entire dental environment with all the stuff they gave me. I'm going to the dentist tomorrow, actually, to have them, confirm that things seem better. And to give my teeth a good clean for me, even though I spent a week doing it myself. So look, I'm feeling a bit rough, but we're pressing ahead. And what I wanted to say was, we've now got, and the stream archive, the Ganja Kids stream archive is there on the playlists. The playlists are there for the ASMR people to find. We've included Mental Health Monday. It's there as a big flag now. It's there. So this is like what I wanted for it to be, isn't it? True Binaural and ASMR was the main thing that people are coming to see. Doesn't matter how much we build and all these other things. True Binaural and ASMR was the original. Like, I dropped a video on there a week ago. It got 1,000 views. That's fantastic, isn't it? Hopefully, some of those people who are anxious or whatever, with the ASMR crowd as it is, hopefully some of them find their way through to Mental Health Monday. That's got to be a good idea, yeah? So with that in mind, what I wanted to say was, this year on Mental Health Monday, I want to try, if I can, because I'm a bit dispersed. I'm a bit like, I do a bit of this, bit of that way, bit of this, bit of that way. And we've got Mental Health Monday now as a channel, haven't we? We've got it as a channel. And I've been looking at some other mental health channels, and we've made some, like, this is the way I do it, isn't it? I've made lots of different. There's one about history. There's a short one about specific Irish care advocates. There's one about mirtazapine, which is a mental health drug, because I've had experience with that. But I've had experience with others. We could do a whole series on different drugs. That one's about suicidal thoughts. It's a good collage of different things. It covers the broad strokes and some of the important specifics. But what I haven't done, I guess, in a way, is be consistent in any particular style other than me chuffing. It hasn't got loads and loads of views. That's not a problem. I don't care how many it gets. If it gets 10, those 10 people, they're the important people that needed it. That's fantastic. You know, it's there. That's important. We're going to keep doing it. The Lewis Hamilton one's got a lot of views. I should do more of those videos. No, I shouldn't. No, I should do what I'm about to say, which is, if I do need to hone it in any direction, I'm worried they'll come after you if you don't give them regular ASMR. I like doing the old regular ASMR from time to time. You know, actually, it's not so bad. I'll talk a lot in more depth about ASMR and production and feelings in another stream, because this is Mental Health Monday. I'm not just going to go on and on about me. I can't do it. Although we're doing a bit of that right now, but this is a team effort. This, look. So what I'm saying is, you come here, you find the broad strokes at the moment. Hopefully, there's something that interests you from a, you know, different. Everyone's different, aren't they? So hopefully, there's a video here for everyone. And specifics like eating disorders and stuff like that are involved in, like, do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. So now what I wanted to do this year, maybe more cognitive behavioral therapy. Look, let me go web browser. I found this really good website on cognitive behavioral therapy. I've looked at quite a few. And we said, this is a really important, interesting point. I'm going to do the introduction, because now this is officially Mental Health Monday. So I'm going to do the introduction. Hang on a sec. You've had that. Hi, you're with Scott. This is Mental Health Monday. It's midnight. It's always midnight. That's your right ear. And that's your left ear. And today what we're doing on Mental Health Monday is we're going to do some CBT techniques. We are actually going to do some. I'm going to give you some homework, you chuffers. If you've come here and I'm doing too much chuffing already, we've already done 20 minutes of chuffing. What's going on, mate? Like, I need some serious support. You can talk to us in chat. Doesn't matter what your problem is. We can sort of pause what we're doing and we can deal direct with people in chat. Absolutely happy to do that. Some people might not be so happy to do that because it's chat and it's live on the internet, and I might use it to make a little video out of. So that's implicit in the fact that we're a streamer. But you can call 116 123 for free in the UK. The Samaritans will help you face things. They'll just talk to you about your problems, whatever they are. Same in America. You've got a phone line to call. They've changed it to 988, but it used to be 1-800-273-8255. And that's called Lifeline, National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. But suicide is a big word. And obviously, you know, if you're feeling really on the edge, these are the people to call. But if you just need to talk to someone because you feel really stressed and you're worried about things, that's something that it's okay to call this number about as well, I'm pretty sure. So Samaritans and Lifeline there. I'm going to do the chuffing. It's not a huge chuffer arm. We're going to do some serious chuffing, but we're also going to do some just chuffing. So those are the resources if you're really, you know, on the edge. But hopefully you'll be able to calm you down and we can talk together here on Mental Health Monday, every Monday, 8 p.m. GMT. Right. So what we're doing, oh, that's the coffee page. I haven't done that. We'll do that later. That can go on the back burner. Mental Health Monday. What we're doing is I'm going to try and hone the content a little bit. Some of these things, like history, I can do history any day of the week. We can pull open those websites and we can do a bit of mental health history. That can be like the backup, you know, the backup stream if I haven't got any plans. But I've got quite a lot of plans. So what I'd like to do really is I'd like to have a good go at cognitive behavioural therapy. I'll talk us in. The other week we did a stream where we did personality types, didn't we? We did a stream on personality types. Keep showing you our streams now. 16 personality type tests. And it was interesting. And it's going around at the moment, these personality types, these ideas. But I felt it was lacking some stuff, some substance. And this is where CBT, cognitive distortions, can really come into it. I'm going to let you see through the looking glass. We're going to have to talk a little bit of chuff before we really get started. I'm going to let you see through the looking glass. These are resources for the actual therapists. Now, in the UK, there are no rules. We looked at, we found out last year, we found this out. There are no rules on who can be a therapist, who can call themselves a therapist. If I want to call myself a therapist, I can. And all I have to do is just say it. I can be an ice therapist and we'll rub ice on your face and then you send you home. Ice therapy. To have your money. So from now on, I'm your therapist. But it's all for free. It's all for free. And what I've done is I found this good website and it's going to let you see through the mirror. And I don't know if seeing through the mirror, through the looking glass, is actually a good thing overall when you're going to go through these processes. I think what's probably best is to be guided through these processes by, a therapist. Qualified, not qualified, just somebody, anyone, me on the internet, by a therapist. I think it's better to go to your NHS, to your doctor, and say, talking about cognitive behavioural therapy on the internet, found it interesting, can I get signed up? In the UK, we've got a waiting list, there's problems with mental health, so I'm just going to let you see through the looking glass. Yeah, I'm not going to put you on a waiting list, we're going to get right into it. But at the same time, I don't want to baffle you and kerfuffle you with all the imagine it's a theatre play. It's a theatre play. There's a lot going on backstage, isn't there? There's a lot going on. There's a lot of clever stuff that you might be really interested in. But to just enjoy the play, to just get to sit there, watch the players, laugh a bit, feel a bit, maybe they might say, he's behind you, interact a bit. To just be involved in the process is one thing to enjoy. If you had to see all the costume changes, read all the lines, do all that, at the same time, if it was all transparent, you could see them pulling the ropes, and you've got like a little list of everything everyone's doing. Someone presses the smoke button here, and someone does this here. You're not going to enjoy it, are you? It's just going to be it's going to be, what the chuff is this? This is no longer theatre. This is now something else entirely. I'm seeing behind, through the mirror, and it's confusing. So you might need to break that down a bit, mightn't you? You might need to break it down a bit. Okay, I'm going to watch this play, but we're just going to talk about the lighting. And we're going to find out about that. Oh, I get it now. I see how the lighting works. Now when I watch the play again, I see a bit of that. But it doesn't spoil the whole play. I just enjoy the play. What I'm saying is, I'm going to show you some little bits and pieces. You just enjoy the play. We're going to go through week by week some of these really cool, really interesting ideas. And we've got some worksheets. We've got what? We've got homework. Oh, got worksheets. Oh, they're good though. I was saying about these different personality types within the video. Different personality types. What about coping styles? Have you heard of that? Coping styles. I wonder if that should go around on the internet. As a little, one of those trends. I'm setting a trend now. I'm a streamer. I can set a trend. Everyone else can start doing coping styles. It turns out, and we will get in, like I said, we will get into the nuts and bolts of how it turns out. We'll do a stream on, the fellas and ladies, people of non-denominative genders that came up with these ideas and used them and, showed them to be effective. It's all good stuff. I'm not coming at you with some ice therapy, but what I am doing is I'm sort of giving you the main headlines first, giving you the interesting, and then I'll back it all up. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about, what if this is just hocus pocus? It's not hocus pocus. I'll back it all up. But for now, I'll give you some main headlines that'll be coping styles. It's a conceptualization worksheet designed to help therapists and clients. So, but the therapist, this one's for me, comes to a shared understanding. It's shared, so you have to be involved. But, it's mainly me. Of the presenting problem, develop more adaptive coping strategies, clarifying the problems, identifying their vulnerabilities, identifying their triggers, exploring coping strategies, listing the effects, explore. So that's a good one. That's a good one. Coping styles. What coping style are you? We'll find out today, right now, today. We're not going to hold that behind some paywall. We're going to just throw that out today. We're also going to do the fact checker. Fact check facts. People like facts and checking. That's fact checking is going to also be involved in homework, maybe, depending on how far we get through the facts. But coping styles might actually also turn out, what's this? Oh, that looks, even with the music in the background, you can see it's more fun than it looked, isn't it? It's got little boxes, you can type in them. It's a PDF, you can download it, print it out, do it on your phone. It's basically TikTok, as far as I understand TikTok. Obviously, I do understand TikTok. Wait, big face now. Big face. Obviously, I do understand TikTok. TikTok's like the internet for younger people, isn't it? For people with bigger eyes, wider smiles. It's the internet for people who are physically a bit more anime, aren't they? And then they've got little like songs and things that go on, and very short videos. And you do your little dance, or you do a little joke. TikTok. You're not going to get crime and punishment in TikTok. You're not going to get Hamlet through TikTok. Now I've said that, I bet you Hamlet in a TikTok. Someone will do Hamlet in a TikTok. Starting the trends here. TikTok's, by the by, web browser. This is like TikTok. I'm just trying to sell it. Just trying to sell the concept to the young'uns. There are no young'uns here. This is your homework. It's going to be. So there's going to be like this worksheet. Fine. You're going to enjoy pulling out your worksheet. Coping styles. That's all coming up. Back to the high octane, upbeat sounds of Stardew Valley full HQ soundtrack. But it makes me feel good. And then later, in future streams, we can get to the nitty gritties. And like I said, I'm showing you through the mirror. This is a website that I'm using. I'm not hiding it. I'll give you the I'm going to have to give you the if I'm going to have to give you I don't want to give you the link in a way, because it lets you all just read ahead. When I used to go to college, or not go, as the case may be, when I used to go to college, or not go, as the case may be, I thought they're giving these textbooks, and in the textbook is all the stuff they talk about in the fucking lessons. So can I not just read ahead and then not turn up? It's not a good chat. It's not a good strategy. But it was what, Scotty Hottie back then. We can look at that. Coping strategy. We can look at that. It's what Scotty Hottie back then thought was a good idea. It didn't pay off necessarily, but thought I could read ahead and not pay attention. Yeah. You read ahead. Oh, you see, you're not reading that. You might need to go there for your... I'll also link your worksheets at the end of the lesson. But I'm going to read it week by week. There's a lot to it. And a lot of it is the backroom stuff. Is the sort of... I don't know, like I said, I don't know if it's actually helpful to the client, to you, the person who we're going to therapise you. We're therapying you for free. I'm the therapist and you're for free. Therapy free, willing victims, students. Anyway, look, I don't know if it's helpful to go through this early days to say, are you the filtering? Do you have a cognitive distortion? Is it filtering? Or like this is the sort of stuff that we should get to after a bit of thinking and looking generally. But it's what we're going to get to, so I will show it you and show you through the looking glass. And they're really intelligent things, so they're really like smart, interesting things. So we're going to do that. But the first thing we're going to do, just to show you how the whole shebang works, the first thing we're going to do is a fact checker. Fact checking. The fact checking. Where are we? I'm going to read it. You're just going to put up with it. The whole point being, like I said, just to go over that one more time, the whole point being to get more of a direct cognitive behavioural therapy lean on Mental Health Monday, because Mental Health Monday is now in existence as a channel and a, playlist on True. You can't even see it. Where's the web browser? Move the chuffer. It's there on True Binaural ASMR. It's got its own playlist. So people are going there. They're looking for mental health support. We're offering it. So what should we be offering? Not just generalised, randomised chuff. Some actual real structured chuff. I'm the driver. I've got the captain's hat. I'm going to be the cognitive behavioural therapist. In a way, it's something we all do together. I do think you should go and see the doctor. But if you've got anxieties, if you've got any problems at all, this is going to fix all. I'm joking there. Some, possibly, probably, quite handy thing to be able to take on into life if any other problems come up. But I'm going to go through this together, a bit of homework. It's going to be fun. It's going to change your life. That's the plan. So what are we doing first? We're doing fact checking. Check facts. Check. The fact checking thoughts worksheet. Fact checking thoughts. Oh, not facts, thoughts. Oh, I see. It's that cognitive behavior. It's that triangle. It's that triangle he keeps wanting us to talk about with the thoughts and the feelings and the behaviors. I won't get that out yet. I won't get it out. The fact-checking thoughts worksheet helps clients, no one's paying me, clients, giving this out for free on the internet, mate, to recognise their thoughts are not necessarily true. The key take-home message from the worksheet is thoughts are not facts, but should you see that before you do the worksheet? No. Now I've chuffed up your therapy. Now because if you show them the thing before they sit down, they're going to be like they're going to be like oh, is that what we're doing today? No, I don't know if I'm going to be receptive to that now that I've seen the preloaded with got my walls up. No, I'm not. No. Well, maybe we should have done the worksheet first, hey? Before you run ahead, maybe you should do the worksheet first. This is for seeing through the looking glass. This is what your therapist gets to read. It can be difficult to accept the idea that thoughts are not facts at first. You see, I told you wouldn't handle it. Especially, I think that's not something the therapist would say. Especially when we're in the throes of an emotion. Throes with an E. Not throws, throw W. I'm not going to grammar police it. I'm just going to carry on. However, completing this worksheet will help you to come to this realisation. Well, that's the thing then. You should do the worksheet first and then talk about this afterwards, shouldn't you, chuffers? Let's go and do it. We tend to believe each and every thought we have is true. However, thoughts are not facts. We've said it there again. While some thoughts we have may be factual, they may be factual, e.g. I failed the test. Well, that's on the thing. That's down there on the thing. Don't get telling us the answers. Others, no wonder this is free. Others may not. E.g., I am dumb. Well, we'll talk about it. These non-factual thoughts are opinions. Okay, we can all agree that, can't we? That's a fact. Isn't it? That's a fact. Non-factual thoughts are opinions. As long as we all agree on that. Facts, that's what we're dealing in. And think about it though, in life, a lot of facts these days, aren't there? People want source material, facts. They want these facts. This worksheet is designed to help you practice differentiating between factual thoughts and opinions. What? This worksheet helps me see the difference between things that are real and things that are not necessarily real. I want a pie. Now I want a pie. Now we all want pie. I.e. thoughts are not necessarily fact. I'll come to that. We can put that on the list. Statement, fact, opinion. I'm dumb. Now they've told me it may not be a fact, but it might be a fact. I certainly feel like it is sometimes. Certainly look at the way that things are all laid out in front of me and say, well, I must be dumb. What if your thought statements are, I'm the smartest, greatest there ever was? Well, that could lead you down a dark path as well, couldn't it? Most of these are negatives. Most of these are designed to help people with the strong negatives. I think if your strong positive thought statements, although it could lead to other problems in life, we can think about it, we can come to that. That's a really good question, but I think you're less likely to be seeking out therapy. If you're really confident about how good you are, I think you're less likely to be seeking out therapy. Bear in mind this is coming out. You've gone true binaural ASMR. You're like, I was one of these anxious people. I am one of these anxious people. We are anxious because social things, I don't like, let's go and all do the social thing. Oh, feeling on edge. Earlier on, I felt like I was going to die because I had a twitch in a muscle. I think it might be muscle twitches in my chest. I think it might be muscle spasms. And I was like, oh, am I going to die? Those sort of anxieties. I'm good at those now. I'm good at shutting them down, holding on, being in control. But you've looked at this true binary. Oh, I like this because it calms my anxiety. Calms my anxiety. Well, here we go. Here we go. Fact checking. We're going to get to some anxieties. I'm done. Fact or opinion? For me, it feels like I want to say fact. And some people I've met, it's not just my opinion, mate. There's no helping them. But on the other hand, dumb is such a, you know, what does it even mean? If you want to get like into it, I'm going to leave the first one out because I think you can be like not that. I think we measure and grade people by intelligence in some ways, but then people do silly things and stupid things even though they're intelligent, and people who are not necessarily intelligent, you know, might have a smart way when ignorance is bliss, 'tis folly to be wise. So I mean, I don't know, we're going to leave that one though because I don't know. I'm unattractive. Well, that's definitely an opinion. It's not my opinion. No, but of course, isn't it? Attractiveness is an opinion-based thing, isn't it? Some people like one thing looks like, and some people say, no, that doesn't look right. I like it the way it looked before. And it's totally opinion-based. It's totally subjective. You know, we're having opinion for that. But isn't it interesting? Because a lot of people might say, well, you know, I don't know. It's a fact. I'm unattractive. You know, everyone thinks I'm unattractive. It's a fact. I've got a big nose. I have got a big. Which way do I have to turn for you to see it the most? Don't turn that way; they'll see it the most. Got a bit of a big nose. It's just one of those facts of life, isn't it? It's just one of those facts, and that might be unattractive. I might say that is unattractive to me. Therefore, it is unattractive. Full stop. But is it unattractive to everyone? Is it? No, it's not. Because you know that fella in the mirror don't find it so unattractive. So it's not. It's like it's the whole part of that whole thing of opinion. But some people might really feel this is one or the other. They might really feel it's fact. We're here to examine what we put in. So if you put unattractive as fact, that's okay. You can put that and you can have that as your worksheet. I'll put the worksheet in the chat. Copy. Put the worksheet in the chat in case anyone in the world ever wants to look at that and try and type that out after reading it on the phone like that and typing it out. It's called positivepsychology.com, and we're doing 25 cognitive behavioral therapy techniques, so that might be easier to Google. Unattractive could be fact or it could be opinion, couldn't it? Could be attractive. See, capital K thinks it's an attractive thing, but that's opinion. That's opinion. Could be fact, it could be opinion. Well, I think it's opinion. I think it is opinion. But the whole point of this is you've got to do this worksheet yourself and see what you think and how you think, because we're going to find out our coping styles and our fact checking. I failed the exam. They told us earlier that's a straight up fact. It is. I'm going to fail this one. I have no friends. No friends. Well, that's their opinion. That's the friend's opinion, isn't it? Right? They might not be my friends, then I don't have them. But if they are my friends, I can't change that. That's their opinion. I don't know. You know, I'm going to put an opinion. Who knows? The friends know, not me. I don't know. Nobody likes me. Again, we're coming here because people are going to be coming to True Binaural. They might have these, you know, I certainly understand some of these concepts and statements as like negative self-talk that like, I'm just going to skip down a bit. I'm not good enough. That's a more general one, isn't it? I'm not good enough. Like, and I've been in a situation where I'd say, oh, that's just a fact, isn't it? It's just a fact. I should be doing this and I should be doing that and I should have done this. It's just a fact, not presented out as good enough. But like, that's the whole point of what we're doing, isn't it? We're going to look at it and analyse and see why it might not be. So I would have said it's a fact, but it might not be. It might be subjective. What is good enough? Who's judging? And why are they judging? And to what end do we agree with those judgments? I don't know. Like, it's different for everyone. Nobody likes me. That's an opinion. You just said it. I'm not having it. I'm a selfish person. Me. It's all about me. So a lot of people think and feel that going to therapy is selfish. Like, it's taking the time out to deal with their own problems. Might be selfish. I'll tell you something. It's better to be able to help other people from a position of feeling, you know, confident and structured, and going to something like therapy, coming to our Mental Health Mondays, as this portal, this access to something better like cognitive behavioural therapy. Yeah, you know, you might say I'm selfish, but actually you might be doing it in a sense of giving, mightn't you? Is it an opinion? Is it a fact? I've seen some people who I can say, oh, they're selfish. That's a fact of the matter, isn't it? Boris Johnson, he's selfish. It's a fact of the matter. It's not a fact, is it? It's not a fact. It's an opinion. It's a fact overruled. It's not a fact. The opposite. If I like someone until they prove me wrong. So if I like you, I've never met you. Oh, everyone's a friend until, you know, everyone. Factually, I will fail this test. I've already said that earlier. Fact. Remember, this is quite tough for me actually, because I remember being in a position where I would say fact, but I now know in my own heart of hearts that I don't feel like that anymore. Opinion. But for people coming here for the first time, you're going to see a lot more crosses in this box than you're going to see over here. I'm telling you. I'm not good enough. We've covered that. Whoever is. At what? And for how long? And it's different. If you're a champion marathon runner and your times are degrading, then I'm not good enough at marathon running, you know, for my sponsors and team to continue working. Yeah, okay, I could get that. I could see, you know, you could, but I'm not good enough generally. At what? For how long? You know, I don't know. Like I feel that's so subjective, but I also remember feeling it was so factual. I'm overweight. That's different from everyone, isn't it? Over what weight? Again, is it subjective? Is it factual? Now, where's the box that says I'll overthink every question on the test? This one is important though. I'm overweight in many ways because it's not the kernel and seed of an eating disorder. There are other things that get tied in with it, but the concepts of weight, they're so important in today's societies, aren't they? At the same time, we've got like actual medical advices and things about how to be healthy, I guess, and a certain limitation put on, like where some people could say factually they had been to the doctor and they'd said, look, you know, weight is an issue. Other people might say, I look in the mirror and I don't feel comfortable with what I see, but not, you know, be fitting that unhealthy structure. So it's a difficult one. It's so difficult, and it's so difficult even on Mental Health Monday to be like just an easy clicking this, clicking that. Like, does anyone? I'd ask you this though. Does anyone? I suppose they do, don't they? Because they're on like Instagram and shit like that. But I was going to say, does anyone look in the mirror and be like, oh, that's perfect, let's go? Yay! Like, I actually guarantee you, even the people like Eddie Hall that I used to hang, you know, we went and saw the bodybuilders who absolutely tone themselves to the highest spec and whatever. They're looking in the mirror and they're picking little faults. So like, and they, you know, on terms of the scale of like physically specimen, they were like specimens, but you know, they're picking faults. They'd say it's a hard subjective, objective. Real fact, just someone's opinion. I am single. Don't want to make you feel bad, but that one's a fact, isn't it? That one's a fact one. Can't objectify my not objectify. Opinionate my way out of it. I will be single forever. Oh, different spin on the question there, isn't there? Different spin. Am I overweight as judged by teen Instagram? Yeah. I'm overweight on TikTok, I'll tell you that. I'll be single forever. That could be an opinion. Someone could say it was true, but could I say it was true as a fact? I might think I can say it's true as a fact. Me, I might be able to say, oh, I think that's... Remember what we're coming from here. Remember, we're coming from the anxiety perspective of this is my first port of call. Need some help here. I need to start thinking about how I'm thinking. I'll be single forever. Fact or fiction? True or false? An opinion that someone could label, or an actual fact that we can say, write it down now, that's never going to change. And I know some people might actually feel like that. But it is an opinion. Like, we can't predict the future, can we? We can't predict the future. Yeah, it's making us feel bad as possible. Can't predict the future though, can we? We can't. My family is disappointed in me. This is a good one. Because you want to say, oh, that's a fact, isn't it? Yeah. That's a fact. But at the end of the day as well, I can't speak for them. Can't speak to them. Can't speak for them. So is it a fact? Family's a wider range of people. Not all of them. Maybe not all of them. Is it a fact? No, it's not. It's not a fact. It's subjective. In the same way as my family's proud of me. I have been proud of some of the things I've done, for sure. Like, not proud of everything all the time. Like, proud of me, oh yeah, I suppose. Pride's not a virtue. We're thinking about how we think, remember. Fact or subjective. Does it matter? There's a follow-on question for you. I dislike my job. My job? That's subjective. I like my job. My job's this, really, isn't it? I mean, I don't really feel like I've got a job. My job's this. But, you know, I know that subjectively you might like some things and dislike some things, but you might factually say, no, hang on, like, I'm not enjoying this. That's, you know, you could have a fact or a subjective about that. Maybe it's more fact, that one. Maybe it's more fact. You know if you're enjoying yourself. It's fair to say how you feel. I'm not good at my job. You could say, well, factually, I'm not good at my job. I remember being a hairdresser. It was all about what I could do with my hands. So I could either do the cuts or I couldn't. Factually, no, I'm good at my job. It would be someone's opinion, I suppose, whether they like the haircut, whether it was good. And also, there are some strict measurements as to whether it's good or not, in my opinion. Depends what you do, doesn't it? Depends what you do. But being good in your job, or I'm not good at it, not good at it. Depends what you do. And it depends who you're asking, doesn't it, I suppose? Because if it was my first haircut on the first person I did, that would be, you know, a question, wouldn't it? But then, in general, you know, let's say I've been working as a hairdresser for 2 years. Always comes back to hairdressing, doesn't it? But let's say I've been working at whatever job for 2 years, and I ask someone who, off the street, come in, you do the job next to me, who's good? Maybe you're better than them off the street, aren't you? But you look up to the people that are in the job around you. They've been there for 10 years. So you're looking at them and going, God, I'm never going to be as good as them. 10 years go by, and there's people that you feel like maybe you feel you are good at your, I don't know. I'm not good at my job. It's subjective and it's factual. But it's only factual as long as it's coming from you, isn't it? I don't know if there's some measurement, maybe, who can do the most sit-ups in an hour if your job was doing sit-ups. But not good in general. Subjective, isn't it? It's got to be subjective, because you could have people coming in there and saying, oh, I'm just going to start up doing sit-ups. I'm just going to start up next door, open my own sit-up shop. And you're going to be like, well, mate, we've been doing it for at least 6 weeks, so we're ahead of you on that one. You'd like to apply for the sit-up job? Are you mad? Are you mad? How much... We're powering generators with your sit-ups, bear in mind. So you're going to be on that. You're going to be firing away those sit-ups for hours on end. Oh, it's going to be tough. No lunch. No, you don't like it. No, it doesn't seem so fun. No lunch. Easy paycheck. I suppose, yeah, there is something in that. Get everyone on the exercise bikes, and we'll use it to generate ecological power. Can't work out though, can it? That can't work, because then I wonder if you can. I wonder if it's not tough if you do sit-ups. It's any exercise for any amount of effort for me feels like it's that first bit of effort that goes into it to get you doing it. That's the hard bit, because fucking hell. Once you're into it and it's enjoyable, fine. But that first bit, oh god, I'm gonna can't we just have a chocolate bar? So there's the fact checker. Fact check your facts. What we're checking though, thoughts are not facts. Hang on, what? What have we found this out? I'm not good enough to fail the test. Thoughts are not facts. Now, why is that important and what's going on? Because this is you're doing your cognitive behavioural therapy, remember? I'm unattractive. Is that an opinion? It's an opinion. It's not a fact. But I look in the mirror. I'm about to go out and I'm like, I don't like what I'm seeing here. This isn't going well. Why have I let this beard grow? I've got to have a shave because tomorrow we've got to go to the dentist and I really can't turn up 2 dental appointments in a row with facial hair. Like, they've got to go in them. They've got to poke around in this area. So I want it to be neat and tidy for them. Got to have a shave. I look at it, I'm unattractive. Is that an opinion? Is it a fact? But for some people, for most of us, for all of us, these things, these bad thoughts, It's what ends up, I'm depressed. Why are you depressed? Well, I'm not very good at my job. I'm going to be single for the rest of my life. I'm unattractive. There's a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of stuff in this cognitive behavioural therapy, but this is just a little start point. If you're coming to True Binaural ASMR because you feel socially disengaged, because you feel anxious, and that anxiety becomes, I can't go out, I find it difficult to, are these facts as well? Are these facts? I'm anxious. Is that a constant fact? Am I anxious right now? Are you anxious right now? Maybe you've calmed it down with the ASMR. So you're not always anxious. Maybe we can get to why. What's going on behind it. Is it a fact or an opinion? Are thoughts facts? Well, I told you a minute ago I'm anxious. I'm not arguing with you. I'm asking you, where does it go on this list? This is why you're not allowed to show them the bit at the start, because they'll be like, thoughts are not facts. Right, I see where you're going with this. No, I'm going to put up the barriers. Just be open. I'm not arguing with you. I'm anxious. Where does it go on this? Is it a fact? Is it an opinion? Whose opinion is it even? Could be my opinion, couldn't it? Could be my opinion. I know I feel anxious sometimes. You can't be anxious with this music playing, yeah. Stardew Valley, baby. Whee! That's been 50 hours. No, wait, 40 hours times 2. Well, it's been like 120 hours of my life. How anxious can you feel? Do you feel all the time? Is it a statement of fact that you are anxious all the time, or is it your opinion? Could be a fact, couldn't it? Could be a fact. What's making you anxious? Here's another question then. And this is what goes on to coping style. So we're going to move into coping style. Smooth as you like, we're going to move into coping styles. Coping styles formulation. I want to move this a little bit so you can see it a little bit more. Where's the web of a browser? Where's my web of a browser? That's my tippies thing. Where's my web of a browser? I've got a web of a browser and I move it round. There it is, and I've moved it round. And I also wanted to just make sure that I'm checking everything is working. 1, 2, check, Chuffy, 1, 2. Yeah, it's all working. Of course, you can hear the music. So, how would you not? Why would it not be working? You wouldn't be able to hear the music. Waiting for a Muppet to pop up. Fraggle Rock, mate. Fraggle Rock. There was lovely dogs in Fraggle Rock. Anyway, look. Coping styles. Class. Get hold of yourself. This is going to hopefully help. Even if you're not coming to this because you've got an anxiety problem or a mental health thing that you're worried about, this could still help everyone. But most people that are here for this good bit for the mental health, aren't they? Coping styles. It's a worksheet. It's CBT. 6 steps. Clarify the problem. Identify the client. That's you. The client. We used to talk in that way in hairdressing. The client. My friend. Identify your vulnerabilities. Consider what your experience is likely to be like. We'll come back to this in a second. I want to just do the big, easy going, the fun things first. Then you're going to take this one. This is your homework. Let's copy this. You don't all have to do it. Paste. You don't all have to do it. Anyone that's finding this video, I will, if it's edited for a video, which hopefully it will be, then I will put the PDF. Look in the descriptions. You'll find them, and I want you to bust this out when you feel like you've got problems and stresses. When you've got, whatever you're coming to cognitive behavioural therapy for, whatever you're going to that GP. Well, I'm anxious, I'm stressed, whatever it's. I want you to bust this out a few times. This is your little first week's homework. How do I cope with the problem? What made me at risk at the first place? What events or triggers occurred just before it developed? Well, wait, what's the problem? Let's do that first. What's the problem? I'm going to fill it in based on how I accessed CBT in the first stages. Like anxiety, panic, attack. I mean, for me, it was late night or walking the dog. So I'm going to put / late night. I'm touching the microphone there by mistake. And when I bang on the table like this, it chuffs up. So I hope it's not going late night, panic. I'm just going to put that here. Because it's difficult for me because I used to feel like this, but now I don't feel so bad. I don't feel so bad. And I can cope with it because of things like this. So bear in mind, this works. I know, anecdotally, I can tell you it worked for me. And then another time we'll get out all the history of this CBT and we'll show you the evidence that it works. But let's see if it works for you. Let's just do this for you. Get this out when you feel these problems. So I've got late night panic attack here. Before we get to coping mechanisms, what made me at risk and what events? Well, again, I want to leave them to the end. I know they come at the start, but I want to leave them to the end because these are easier. How do I cope with it? How do I cope with my stress? Late night panics. So what I used to do, I guess, would be to I could put arm myself. Look, arm myself. I could put like this is I'm bang awake at night and I'm like, oh, I feel really anxious. Like, what's going on? It used to manifest itself in being like, are the doors locked? What was that noise? You know, that sort of stuff. Like being worried about security. So arm myself, lock doors. If I was out walking the dog, I would be worried if my dog was going to bite someone a lot of the time, or I had this weird anxiety that if I was walking on the same side of the road as someone, that they would, like, instead of just walking past me and going, "You're right, how's it going?" Like most every time it happened, but or except once when I was in Bristol, like I would imagine that they were going to like come towards me and engage me in some sort of confrontation, and I don't want that, so I'd cross the road early. So lock doors / cross road. That's how I coped with it, isn't it? I felt anxious, so I'd do these sort of things. I'd go around the house, checking the locked doors, cross the road if I could, you know, whatever. But I'd still be anxious. I'd still like sit there. I suppose we can also put this at the end for at home. Sit up late at night, listening for burglars. Yeah, could do that, couldn't I? Something like that. A few hours go by. Maybe then I get a cup of tea. Try and like, because I checked all the doors and windows. I've gone outside, gone out the front, you know, with my weapon, like looking for burglars. Try and relax. I mean, that's what I'd put back then, but I wouldn't really know how to. Now I do. Now I know a lot better about how to relax. But that's, you know, that's the sort of thing. Yeah. This is my coping strategies. I go out there with a bat if I'm going to. I just want to. If I'm going to die, I want to get on with it. If I don't die, I get to sleep. Yeah, that was sort of how I used to. A lot of us feel that we have to face these things down, but a lot of us don't want to face them down as well. I used to feel like that, but at the same time, I didn't go out there hoping there would be someone there. You know, and when there wasn't, it didn't mean, oh, good, there's no one out there. Now I can relax. I still had the high anxiety. I was still worried that, like, you know, did I check everything? Maybe they were hiding. Maybe they heard the door go and they hid. And, you know, still, don't know if it, how effective. What are the pros and cons? The pros are that if any burglars are around, if any burglars are around, they get attacked. It's not much of a pro, is it? It's not much of a pro. I attack them. Like, it's not much of a pro, but it's a pro. What are the cons? It doesn't really relieve my stress. The bit where you have the cup of tea and try and relax, that does at the end. But the first bit, the hour of walking the house, you know, I'm still awake. I'm alert, like, adrenaline, you know, like writing these sort of things. Yeah, like you can see what the cons are, can't you? Like, you're not achieving my objective. I'm not getting to sleep. Like, it basically still fit. Like, I've done the strategy now. Hang on, what's going on? This is honestly like what went through my experience of it. But you can be putting your own things in here. So this is how it works. Look, I've actually started to say to myself, hang on, what? I'm not getting to sleep. I'm alert. It doesn't really relieve my stress. And why did I say that? I just said that, didn't I? I just said that. You understand how it can be like that, can't you? If you're pacing around the house, you, like you said, you go out with the bat, you're going to get on with it. You don't want to get to sleep. It doesn't. Going out with the bat isn't making you less stressed, is it? But the problem was stress because you feel something's coming in the night, burglars, anxieties, and my coping strategy doesn't relieve my stress. I'm still not getting to sleep. Something that just like got whoa, like flashing lights to me. That's a big highlight. Good point, mate. Good point. What else could I try and do to cope? Now, I know the overall truth to this now. I know the secrets. I'm going to let you in through the looking glass. You have to fill in your own thing. You have to find your own problems, your own anxieties, your own issues that you're having in life, and get this form out and fill it in to try and get to this bit. What else could... So we're going to come to that in a minute. But we're going to go back to the top, because I wanted to do this, go back to the top. What may be at risk in the first place? What events or triggers occurred before the problem developed? Now, for me, personally, I wouldn't be able to say what triggers a noise. And we've got cats, so we've got loads of noises. A noise. It's just bedtime. What made me at risk? Why was I vulnerable? Why am I vulnerable? It's just me. I'm in the house. I don't know. What made me vulnerable? What made me at risk? And then I came back to this triggers. Well, what? It's hard to know, isn't it? So what were you doing? What were you doing before the problem developed? Well, what I used to do most evenings, which was playing FIFA or Skyrim for 4 or 5 hours, non-stop, drinking constantly. Yeah, that sort of thing. Just stop there. Like, drinking was a big factor in it, being drunk. So do you think drinking and sitting there playing the video game for 5 hours, maybe that put me at risk? Maybe my mind wasn't in the right place to go to bed. Maybe I was high alert, high amped. Like, you know, when you're playing a computer game and you're on edge, high alert, high amped. What made me at risk? Well, I suppose drinking. And if you know a lot about this, you'll learn, or you can learn, that drinking makes me anxious. Drinking makes people anxious. It makes you anxious. It makes me. It's like a medical fact. It's like how it works. It makes you anxious. Continued long-term use make you anxious. Well, that was my problem. Anxiety, panic attacks. So the things I'm doing are leading to it. I said they weren't. I said I didn't have there wasn't a trigger. It was a noise. But actually, playing FIFA or Skyrim for 4 or 5 hours, non-stop drinking constantly, oh, that's actually led to this. Now I can see it in more clear, because all I did was write down what I was doing. It's a bit like a medical. It's a bit like we're doing detectives, isn't it? Detectives are our own thoughts. Our own thoughts that we already know might not be facts. Remember that? A noise. That's definitely someone breaking in the window. I've got to get my hammer and my axe and I've got to go downstairs. Quick. What was that noise? Well, it was a cat eating some biscuits. Thoughts are not facts. It was a fact. It was definitely someone breaking in. That's why I've got a hammer and an axe. It's not though, is it? It's a cat. So noise, you know, thoughts and ideas. These are interesting things, aren't these? Interesting things. Have you ever been so tired, just go back to sleep thinking, hopefully they don't take much or wake me up? It's a bit different in the UK, I think. We leave our doors unlocked. I do not leave my door unlocked here. But there have been places and situations where I've been sleeping where I have not been able to even lock. So I just like thought, I hope this goes well. I'll go to sleep. Yeah. Like, I remember one notable... I was so drunk that we're in a sort of youth hostel centre thing, and I was so drunk I just couldn't. One of these dormitory room things was ours, and they all look the same. So I found one, and I was like, "This does not feel like our dormitory. There's none of my stuff here. None of my friends are here. But I'm so smashed. I'm going to sleep here. But this is someone's bed, so I don't want them to think, you know, come in here and then get in bed with me. So what I did was I hid under the bed and slept there. And then when I woke up, people had found me and they came to hello, are you the British people? There's a British person under our bed in our room. Could you remove him? And they had to remove me. This will do, yeah. So, you know, those sort of things, yeah, absolutely. Drinking made me vulnerable. Drinking. How do I cope with the problem? The pros and the cons. We can come back here. What else could I try and do to cope? Now, it's good to see how I've done them out of order. Sometimes it's good to do them out of order. Whatever order you feel, I guess. What else could I try and do to cope? Not drinking. Stop playing FIFA before bed. The problem with the not drinking for me was that, like, I'd say maybe not drinking as much. But I'd have one beer, like, big face. I'd have what, maybe this is different for everyone, but I'd have one beer. Oh, it's finished work. Last haircut. I'm mopping the floor. Get me a beer out of the fridge before you leave. There's your money. Thanks for the beer. I'm drinking my beer. I'll mop the floor, whatever. No, I didn't used to mop the floor by then. They mopped the floor. I drank the beer and watched them. Anyway, the point being, I'd drink a beer. Right, and then I'd be like, oh, that's nice. Feel, de-stressed from work. That's what I like, isn't it? A nice beer to de-stress me from work. Actually, I was de-stressing because the work was finished. That was what was happening. But I'd put the beer in the mix, and I was saying it was the beer. But then I'd have another beer maybe, and then I've got to go home and need to drive the car, so I can't have too many beers. But I could certainly pick some up on the way home from the supermarket with my little bit of shopping, can't I? And then I know I'm going to be eating this steak. I used to be non-vegan. I used to be a carnivore. Eating this steak, have a nice couple of beers with that, and then playing FIFA. So yeah, perfect. What could be more perfect? Until it got to about later and later. I've drunk all the beers. Now I've got maybe it's gin, maybe it's amaretto. Whatever kind of spirits you've got off the shelf. Because I still want another drink. Don't know. I just still want to. I'm not supposed to be drinking as much. Yeah, but I've had 4 beers now. I might as well. And once you've had 4 beers, that being that drunk, that takes over, and you're like, oh, I can have one more. I want one more. I fancy one more. We'll stay just for another hour. We'll just stay up another hour. Look, I'm nearly at the European Cup final. I just win the European Cup, and I'll just have one more drink, and I'll just stay. And that could just go on for forever until the sun comes up. But it can't, because you've got to go to work the next day. So there is a cut-off. You do what usually the cut-off is you've drunk everything. So you can't have another beer unless you go to the 24-hour offie, and you can't really go to the 24-hour offie because you've got to go to work tomorrow. These are the real edgy ones. The ones where you're at the pub or going to a party and it's getting later and later. They just get later and later. There's nothing you can do about it. You have to. Once I did sleep on the floor of the salon. I was like, I'm out here. The taxis are out because my salon was right on the centre of town. By there was like a touristy taxi rank thing by a bank, so I could see the taxis from the window. I was like, the taxis are out there. When it dies down, when all the people because people queue up for them, when it's quieter and I can see there's one free, I'll go out and get a taxi. And I was just sat there by the window, just sort of smoking, waiting for my taxi. It's probably not smoking because I'd have burned the place down. But sat there waiting for my taxi, and then the next day I was like, woke up 6 a.m. I'm on the floor of the salon. Oh my God, my boss is going to be here soon. That was back then before it was mine. My boss is going to be here soon. I need to wash and freshen up and go out into town and get some coffee and tidy this place up. The drunk Brits laying on the floor. Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't have wanted your haircut that day, but those were the breaks, weren't they? That happens. So drinking for me, I wasn't able. I've written in the form, not drinking as much would help, but I couldn't do not as much. It wasn't not as much. It was either I'm drinking and then we're away, we're drinking, let's keep going, and that your decisions would be clouded by that process. Let's go to a pub then, or let's get some more from the offie or whatever. What have you got in the drinks cabinet? Not as much. Couldn't do that. I had to not drink the first one. Out of all the beers that I drink in a night, it was the first one that was doing it to me. Once I'd had that first one, I wanted another. That tastes nice. I'm on it now. Let's go. I'm on that now. I might as well. I've already had one. It was that first one. I don't know if it'd be the same these days after so long of abstinence. They say in Alcoholics Anonymous that you can never go back. Like if you go back to day, whatever it was, you don't go back to day 1. You go back to straight in there at the deep end if you start drinking again. But I don't know. I feel a lot of the time like I would enjoy a nice cold Guinness and just knock it on the head at that one Guinness. But maybe that's the drink thing in me saying, wouldn't you enjoy a Guinness? Just one nice Guinness. So I don't. I just leave it. I just never drink anymore. But I didn't realise not as much wasn't. So I'm going to have to take not as much out and just put not drinking full stop. Period, you say in America. Never said that before in my life. In the UK, that's what women say when they have their menstruation. So it doesn't sound as effective in conversation. So it sounds a bit... just doesn't sound as like full stop. We call it a full stop. Look, so not drinking had to be one of my things, and it absolutely made a huge difference in my life. It's not about me today. It's not about me. web of a browser. This is your form to fill in when you've got an issue. This is your homework. We're not going to go much over. We've got loads of cognitive behavioural therapy to introduce. We're not going to go much over this. We're going to look at a couple more. What's the problem? Anxiety and depression. There was another one I wanted to put in here. Anxiety, panic attack. I lost my train of thought a little there because I do so much chuffing. What's the problem? Period. Yeah, exactly. Anxiety, panic attack. What is the problem? It was going to be anxiety, wasn't it? How do I cope with the problem? Oh, okay, I've got a different one for you. I'll do a different. I had a different one in the back of my mind, like lodged there for ages, and now it comes to it. I can't remember it. My problem is social anxiety. I don't want to go and meet a lot of new people. You know, it makes me feel like. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you do. Social anxiety. I don't want to go and meet a load of new people. I'd rather stay. That doesn't sound like so. Like, maybe I'll stay in for this one. You know, that sort of thing. How do I cope with the problem? I just mentioned it. I basically avoid the situations. Yeah, I don't go to those places that make me feel anxious. Like, for me, somewhere like McDonald's or the mall in America. You got the mall. You know, the big busy shopping centres. There's so many people walking around. All that. I don't like. I feel anxious. So many people around. So I avoid that. I'm not going to go there. If I do, I'll stay in the car or look for a coffee shop or somewhere like that where I can just feel, you know, a little more relaxed. So, how effective are my coping strategies? Remember, I like to jump ahead. I don't like to start with what made me at risk in the first place. I like to jump ahead first. How effective are they? Pros and cons. So, avoiding the situations, the pros are it really works. Like, it really works. For that situation, it doesn't work to stop my social anxiety in general. I still have social anxiety. So, question mark about that. Does it really work? It stops me from going in the situation. So, it's effective, but it doesn't stop my social anxiety long term. And cons, I am not present at social events, or, and here's the other one, if you have to go and you have to sort of coffee shop it, or, you know, you end up being a bit more withdrawn, keeping yourself to yourself, sitting in the corner, when can we go sort of thing. You get through it, but you feel like you feel it. The cons to that, I'm not present at social events, or not good, I'm going to say, socially. You know, not good socially. What are the pros? There aren't many pros to that, are there? There aren't many pros to that. The cons, I'm not there, I'm not very good socially, and I still feel socially anxious. I still feel it. Obnoxious loud. Hello, nice to see you. Hello. We're doing, for the new year, for the new year, we're doing 25 cognitive behavioural therapy, fact-checking, we're doing some, you know the drill. You know the drill. And I'm running a few of these, and we can put in any of yours as well. If you've got a problem and you want to put in there, how do I cope with it? If you've got a problem, I'll solve it. Pump up the bass while my DJ revolves it. Ice, ice, baby. Told you it was ice therapy, didn't I? Ice, ice, baby. Social anxiety. I don't want to go and meet new people. How do I cope with it? I avoid the situations, or if I'm there, I go into my shell, or, you know, try and go into the quiet corner of the coffee shop, or, you know, I try and go from the mall to the coffee shop. I try and shut down. So the cons, I still feel socially anxious. I'm not present, I'm not at the events, I'm not good socially, and I still kind of, the cons with that strategy, avoiding it, or not going to the coffee shop, or coffee shopping it, is that next time it comes up, I still feel the anxiety. I'm not, I haven't fixed anything. Still socially anxious. So that's a bad con. Now, I want to bring this up as well. If you're filling in this form, whenever this is your homework, is I'll pop it in the chat again. Copy, paste. You can get this form out anytime you feel like, whatever your problem is. Tracy, people come to True Vinyl and ASMR. I've got anxiety. I've got social anxiety. These lyrics, sorry, reading the thing. And these videos help me to calm down, help me to relax, help me to sleep. Got these problems. Cognitive behavioural therapy is actually a really good resource. I want to make sure that whilst we offer our playlist here with mindfulness, a wide range of topics that we've built up over a year, this year we go into some cognitive behavioural therapy things that you can really action yourself, put them into action. So this is the form that everyone can get hold of now. When it comes up this week, this is your week's homework, is have a little fill it in. You don't have to come to any, hard conclusions. It's just about thinking about how you think. That's the main thing. Think about how you think. So the cons, I still feel socially anxious. Now, amazingly to me as well, until I just wrote this, like, isn't that a bit of a con? Though, isn't it, with my coping style, my strategy for coping, how do I cope, is that I avoid the situations, and it doesn't work. It makes my life worse in lots of ways, because I'm not there, so I don't interact, and I feel like I'm not very good socially. Remember, before we start, I'm not good socially. Where does that go on the fact checking? I'm not good socially. Opinion or fact? Opinion or fact? Could be facts. I'm not there. I'm not even there. Could be an opinion, because other people might feel worse socially. They might think that I'm like Frank Sinatra. I think Frank Sinatra would be good socially. Who is good socially? I don't know. Ant and Dec. You see, this is the funny thing. You don't believe I'm not good socially. The funny thing is, when you watch me perform socially, I will be good. I've gone through all this, remember? I've learned to control it all. Does depend on who's there, but not even that. Like Eddie Hall I'll just use him as like the biggest brutish person I could think of. Eddie Hall and he's a soft heart, really, Eddie Hall. But I could be with anyone. I could be myself and stand up for my ideas and talk and whatever. I'm okay with that. But then to get into that mode, to get like to just open up, it's almost like working with hairdressing is a great example, because you don't, like, someone comes in the door, the bell rings, you've got to be like, hi, nice to meet you, let's sit down and talk. Like you just have to do it, and I can do it, but it didn't mean that inside I wasn't like, ugh. I don't know how to quite explain it. It doesn't mean it's easy or it comes easily. Like, maybe that's something I have to work on. So I actually practice working on it so I can do it. And like, I know there are certain social situations where I could take the lead and speak in front of the group. Speak in front of the group, not a problem. Not a problem at all. Speak in front of the group, fine with it. But like, let's go into this new bar that I've never been in before. Like, if I'm on my streets and I like my street act, I can behave a certain way that makes it look like I'm nice and confident, but maybe inside I'm not. I don't know. I feel social anxiety. I know. Probably people are going to say, "Oh, not as much as I do." Good. Well, it's because I've done this, so it helps. Depends on the looks you get. The looks you get are the looks you get a statement of fact or opinion. Those people are looking at me. This is true. This is absolutely true. When people look at you, when you're going somewhere, these people look at me. What they're thinking, I don't belong here. They're thinking, who's this? They're thinking of that thing that so and so said. Or is that a fact? Is it opinion? This is the way I'm thinking. These are the thoughts that are leading me to feel like I can't cope. What am I going to do to cope? I'm going to leave. I'm going to sit in the corner. I've got all these other, mindfulness practices that I do because I feel these anxieties. But I'm saying, why are we feeling the anxieties? I still feel socially anxious because I'm not going to social events. I'm not practicing being good socially. It's different now because of COVID. It's been different because of COVID. But what else could I try and do to cope? What could I do that would be different? I could practice. I just said it then. I could practice actually doing it. And that's where hairdressing was great, or work in general. You do practice it because you just have to pull your socks up and do it because it's happening. You might not do your best. You might have difficulties, but you do it. Practice doing it. Go places. Go places. Are there other things I could try and do to cope? I could try and, like I said, mindfulness. Strategies like that. And we're going to go on to see, I've got 25 different worksheets. We're not going to do 25, but we're going to do a lot of different. There are other things we can do to try and cope with cognitive behavioural therapy. So you're not expected to answer this last one in total completeness. There are things that we don't know yet that we're going to learn. But I've thrown up a few there that I can actually... The funny thing about it is practice doing it. There are dudes that will look at you like me. Oh, I hope they don't look at me like that. I'm vegan. The go places, the mindfulness, I can practice actually going there though. Practice actually going to a social, practice actually doing it. But I just said I avoid it. That's my strategy. My strategy is to not do it. So now, I remember, this is another good one. I remember thinking this at the time, this therapist here is not telling me what to do. I want you to be really clear about this. If you're worried about therapy, if you're worried about going to your doctor and talking about your mental health strategies for fixing it, whatever, if you're worried about your anxieties, this is not like the therapist saying hey, you follow this and you need to do 10 push-ups or whatever. I'm just coming to this realisation myself that it's not working out for me because of what I'm doing. I filled in this form. It's all about me. You filled in this form. And hopefully, when you look at the pros and cons of your strategy to how to cope with your problem, hopefully, you are going to feel that you can change these strategies and cons. You're going to feel through your own investigation, your own thoughts, shouldn't we avoid places? It's difficult with COVID. COVID's a different animal, at the moment. I can't give universal advice health-wise because I don't know the lay of the land in every country. But certainly, in terms of I'm anxious about social anxiety, avoiding places is not working for me. It means I'm not there. It means I don't practice getting good, so I'm not good. And I still feel the social anxiety when I have to be there. If you've got to go through the airport, or can you just pop in this shop and buy this sandwich for me? For you, it's easy. For me, it's a whole thing. Can you not just go? Because I get this, when you actually do have to pop in the shop and buy the sandwich, someone comes up to you while you're walking the dog and starts chatting. It's not so bad, that one. But avoiding the situations doesn't. For you, you've got to should you? I don't know. This is the thing. I'm not going to tell you whether you should, but for me, it doesn't solve my problem. Really, I still feel socially anxious. I'm just not feeling it because I'm not there. I still got that social anxiety. I'm not getting better at it. I'm not there, present. The problem is I'm avoiding the situations. That's the actual problem, isn't it? In a way, I said I've got social anxiety, so I cope with it by avoiding situations. But actually, one of my problems is that I'm going to put this here now. I'm going to change it. What's my problem? I avoid situations because I feel anxious, or because I think I'm going to. I know it's going to happen. I've been there. I know it's going to happen. It's a fact. Remember, is it? It's a fact. It's definitely going to happen. I'm definitely going to feel anxious when I get there. Well, actually, it's my opinion. But I've done it so many times, it's become like a fact. Actually, it's my opinion. I'm telling you now, it's going to happen. But you can't prove it's going to. Just like the weather report, it might be sunny. I might go in the sandwich shop and I might see someone I know in there, and they might start talking about Hearthstone cards, and it might totally distract me. And before I know it, I bought the sandwich and I'm out of there, and it was fine. It's an opinion. I might be bound to encounter a chuffer. Again, am I definitely going to? Is that a fact? Remember, we're coming at this very first thing, fact-checking. Thoughts are not facts. But you have to think that yourself. I can't think it for you. You have to work it out yourself. So I'm avoiding situations because I feel anxious. That's part of my problem. Isn't it? It's part of my problem. How do I cope with that part of it? I don't really. I don't. I'm avoiding these things, so I'm not coping with that part of the problem, which is because I feel anxious. I'm not coping with it. I'm just avoiding it, so it's not coming up as much. What made me at risk at the first place? What made me at risk at the first place? So what happened before I went somewhere or didn't? What triggered it? What triggered it? I suppose you could say I thought about going. That'd be fair, wouldn't it? Hello, Zarajan. Hello to you. Hola. You got some pleasant music playing you in. You got the Alex's Keepsake music playing you in there. That was nice. We're doing some CBT. We're doing some coping strategies, some fact-checking. Fact-checking our thoughts and how our coping strategies are working for us. This is our homework. I keep putting it in the people who make this website, they should give me a commission. I keep putting it in here. Look, this is your homework, your PDF. You can use this. Get it on your phone. Get it out. You can type in it. We're going to just use it all the way through. Whenever our thing comes up, whatever our thing is, whatever our problem is, our mental health problem. It might be depression. We're going to look at this through a depression prism in 1 second. Maybe you just don't like answering the barrage of questioning. Just to take the dog for a piddle. When people talk to me, yeah. Whatever these problems are, we're going to get to grips with them this year through CBT techniques. What made me risk? What was I doing? I thought about going. It's a funny one, isn't it? What made me at risk? I'll tell you something that made me at risk of this is previous experience of going places, feeling anxious, not knowing what to do. That was about in my thoughts, wasn't it? Before I went, I started to get worked. So I don't know if I'm going to like this. I'm not sure about this. My thinking. Some of it's experience, but some of it's my thinking about the experience. What made me at risk? Maybe I'm more sensitive. Maybe I'm quieter. I know. I'm going to put drinking on there again. Because I now know that when I stopped drinking, I felt less of these anxieties because drinking makes me anxious. It makes everyone anxious. All sorts of things, though. Yeah, all sorts of things. Maybe not living your life according to everyone learned experiences. Yeah, all sorts of things. Like that's harder to put a nail in. But the one thing I can say for absolute certainty is the way I think about things. What I'm thinking about it, whether I'm fact-checking my thoughts, whether I'm saying my thoughts are facts. Because one of those thoughts is, I can't do this, it's going to be. I can't do it, I'm not good enough. I failed. I'm not good enough. I will fail the test. It's an I will fail. It's not I failed the test. I failed in the past doesn't mean I'm going to fail in the future, does it? But our experiences in the past, like we said, it was one of our experiences. We had these previous experiences. They've turned into a fact for us. They've turned into a fact. I failed the tests. It's not a fact. Our thoughts are not, despite the comedic barnyard music, our thoughts are not facts. So you see how this is working? And it has to come from you. I can't fill this in for you. It has to be about your ideas. And if you want, you can fill these in. And if any of them feel particularly stand out to you, take a little screenshot of it. We'll talk about it in Mental Health Monday next week. Give me some specifics and I'll help you talk about them on stream if you want. What came out of these things is my own thoughts led to. So I'm socially anxious because I avoid situations because I think I'm going to feel anxious. I've got social anxiety, don't want to meet new people. How do I cope? I avoid the people. Does it really help me cope? No. What else could I try and do? I could try and practice doing it with the mindfulness and other practices. We're going to learn some more things in CBT over the weeks that are going to help us do it. But I'm going to, what could I try and do? Well, I could try and practice. So we have to go all the way to the top again. How do I cope? What made me at risk? What triggered it? My thoughts. If I'm going to do it again, I'm not going to trigger it with my own thoughts, am I? I'm going to try really hard to bit of a rock and roll one. I'm going to try really hard to not think my way out of or into anxiety before I go. That's one of the things I've got to do. And forget my experience. Take this as a new experience. Got to put those pins in the map as well, haven't I? Then go and try it and do it and see what happens. See if these things actually tie in. Rewrite the script. But I still feel socially anxious as a con is not a good, I need to recognise in myself when things are facts, when they're opinions, and when my coping strategy is not working for me. That's really important to note, isn't it? My coping strategy not working for me. So if you think someone is clearing their own path, it puts you at risk of feeling like an outsider and maybe at risk for anxiety. Yeah, I guess you're not fitting in, you're doing things your way. But remember, we are all human as well. So even the trailblazers and the unique, I'm not going to say special, we're all special. But you know what I mean? Even the abstract and different all have to eat their dinner. They all have to go to bed. They all need to brush their teeth. So we all have some human similarities as well. So putting that through the mill, again, it's not me telling you this. It has to be like, what is the problem? Like, lonely because trailblazer. There's a good thing about that, isn't there? Like clearing your own path. Like got my own shit to deal with, like work to do. Got my own thing focused. How do I cope? Is that a problem? How do I cope with it? I ignore people because I don't want to hear what they're going to say. Do I? I ignore them. I'm blazing my own trail. So that / shut them out. How effective it really works. And the cons, well, they're still saying it. They're still there. I feel even more guilty that I'm not dealing with people in my life. Like I'm not, a good family member, for example, or a good social person. So that's a con, isn't it? So now I've realised there's some cons about it. Is there anything I can try and do? Maybe let people in more. Maybe let people in more with less prejudgment about whether I need them or don't, or shutting people out. What makes me at risk is that I am the trailblazer. The trailblazers, etc. What events triggered the thing? Why? Could be talking about specifics, could be talking about generals, but what triggered it is feeling that you are outsider, that you don't fit in the box, having to go your own way, maybe some specifics, so examining those things. Maybe we can come back to how do I cope and what else could I try and do to cope, and re-examine those ideas about whether being a trailblazer. Hi, I feel okay. You chuffer. Commodore 265, first time chat. Hi, I feel like I have no future and nothing to look forward to. All right. First of all, just in case the internet crashes right now, if you're in America, Lifeline 988 1800 273 8255. If you're in the UK, 116 123 43. These are phone numbers that whatever time of day or night, if you're feeling really down, you can talk to these people and they're just there to hear you, to talk to you, to help you. So there's two resources. If you're in a different country, there will be a different sort of resource for different countries. So I want to make sure that, just to highlight that just now, just to make sure that's out there. It's important, I suppose. We could use this coping thing in a way, but it's important that we take this as a bigger, they don't help. Okay, we take this as a bigger problem. I'm not going to look at this just like with a little form. I'm just going to talk to you. Say I'm going to talk to you. It's difficult because I don't want you to feel that you have to say things in chat that you feel are personal. But I can't tell you the answers to your problems, and I can't fix things for you over the internet. But what I can assure you is that there will be a tomorrow. There will be a tomorrow. Whether you feel like contributing to it, being part of it, whether you feel like going over it again, there will be a tomorrow. The world's not going to end. We're going to push through together and get there. We're going to have to go through it. One of the things that's important to realise is if you're feeling down and you're feeling low, that you're already going through it at the moment. So you're going through it. Like, you don't feel that you're a strong person. You don't feel that, you don't want these problems to keep never ending. But you've already got through so much because you're here. You're getting through it, aren't you? Like, the fact that you're talking here, the fact that you exist, even if it's only for 5 minutes, through rock bottoms, you need to realise that you are a resilient person that is going through these things, through them. Like I said, if you're going through hell, keep going. Keep going, because you've got to do another 5 minutes, another 10 minutes, another 20 minutes. Even if you do it in little breaks, little 5-10 minutes like that, even if you watch a Rick and Morty just to get by for another 20 minutes, whatever it is, that's 20 more minutes in the bank that you've done. Being burned out is fine. That's acceptable. That's human. Wanting problems to be solved is acceptable and human. These are absolute normal things to feel, and for you to feel them in response to problems in society in big ways or personal problems is absolutely normal. So there's something really important to note there, is that you're not like some freak that can't be reached, or you're just human like us, and it's normal to feel like that. So it's natural to feel like that. If anything, I don't want to say good, but it's good that you recognize that you feel like that, because that's the first key to helping yourself through it, isn't it? We all get through these things. We all hit these things, and you're here with us going through it. I'm not like on the other side of the, oh, hi, I'm on the beach, why don't you join me over here when you can finish swimming through that sea? No, I'm in the sea with you. I'm in the sea with you, floating, got my life jacket on, trying to hold on to you as well. So we're all here, so that's cool. Be right back, that's fine. And there's no specifics here, so but being burned out, it's a standout, real over the top headline here. Burned out, need to re-energize, need to eat well, need to sleep well, need to get back into a good routine, need to re-energize. Because if you recognize that you're burned out, you recognize that's part of how we've got to get the triangle. Where's my favourite triangle? Cognitive triangle. Images. Thoughts, feelings and behaviours. How they all interact. If you're feeling burned out, you're going to think more negatively, aren't you? I think that's fair to say. If you're feeling burned out, you're going to think more negatively. I think we'll all agree on that. I think if you're feeling more burned out, you're going to behave differently, and that's true as well. Like, if you're feeling burned out, you're not likely to want to go and do certain things, or like go for a jog, or get up early and eat your breakfast. I don't even want to bother cooking, to be honest. I can't even be asked to cook. If you're feeling burned out, it's going to change the way you behave, and that behaviour is going to knock on to the way you feel. It's not going to make you feel better to not cook your dinner, is it? I feel burned out, so I can't be bothered to cook my dinner. I'm not cook my dinner, so I'm not going to eat properly tonight. So I'm not going to have all those vitamins and minerals. So next, there's all these factors that play into it. The key here is you recognise you're feeling burned out, like physically feeling it. You recognise you can behave differently to improve that. I don't know specifically what's burning you out, but you need to turn away from it, take a break from it, re-energize. Even if you have to go back to it, we can do things that are tough in life that burn us out, but we can go back to them after we've re-energized. Otherwise, we're not always going to be effective. It's much better to take a small break, re-energize, and then become more effective. And certain problems, you say, one of the things here you've said is, I want problems to be solved. Certain problems, you say, I don't know what, you can tell us if you want, it's up to you. But certain problems are not easy. It's not, there's my battery. Certain problems are not necessarily, I don't want to say never solved, because you'd be like, oh no, that's going to be even worse. But it's the struggle, it's the willingness to fight. You know, it's the willingness to fight. It's the fight that is the reward, and the solving, it either happens or it doesn't sometimes. But you know, the battery gets burned out. It either happens or it doesn't, or things change, and that's something I can, you know, I can promise, I can assure. Focus. Things will change. Everything does. 1 2 check 1 2. I'm going to be slightly out of focus for this last 30-40 minutes. Everything will change. Everything does. Everything's in a wave. So the way you feel now is not how you felt yesterday, and the way you felt yesterday is not how you felt the way before. In small chunks and big chunks. The way you felt 2 years ago is not how you feel now. I was angry yesterday over something, then I was calm, and then I was happy and excited. These feelings come in waves. They come in waves. So anything we feel, we know that even if it's good, I mean, good things aren't going to last. Nothing's going to last forever. We're going to let things wash away and dissolve. Let them wash away and dissolve. And we're going to look to what's happening right now, you know, where I am right now, how I physically, you know, the temperature of my skin, the feel of the table, whether I'm hungry or empty, whether I'm burned out or not. And then we're going to address these sort of things in the now, and that will go on to help us in the fight. And the results of the fight are not guaranteed. Now, that's something that I can't, you know, honestly, it's true, isn't it? I can't guarantee it. But what I can guarantee is that through the process of the fight, you might start to feel differently. I don't even say better, I'm going to say differently. And because your behaviour will be different, because you'll be going through the process. And that has to come from your thoughts, doesn't it? You can't just magic that. You might not feel like doing it, but you think it might be good to drink a glass of orange juice, eat an apple, set your alarm, try to get to sleep. The mechanical actions of a productive human being that you feel burned out. You know, take the break, get some sleep, do those things, absolutely. But we're not going to turn away from our struggles simply because they're struggles, are we? Because what makes us human is going through them and actually coming out the other side, however the problems, how do I explain this? What I'm trying to say, big face, I need to big face this one, and therefore I'm really out of focus, so I need to focus my camera, and it's a delayed focal operation because I'm doing it through thing. That'll be enough. How am I going to explain this? So going through the process shapes you. I think that's the best way to explain it. Going through the process shapes you. And afterward, the thing, like the problem that was needing to be solved, the problem, whether it's solved or not in the way that you envisaged at the start of the journey, it's different after time, with some perspective. The way the struggle has shaped you. Yeah, am I explaining this properly? I hope I'm explaining it properly. The way the struggle shapes you means that when you get to these later places, it's hard to see now. It's hard to see while you're burned out, but I've got this image in my mind of like plasticine or like a carving or a statue. Like carving's probably a good example, isn't it? A carving, you know, we're chipping away at the rock, aren't we? We're chipping away at the rock, but we're not doing it randomly. We're trying to keep some structure, and at the end, it's, you know, something's come of it. Okay, I'm missing some pieces, some great big chunks, but you know, it could be more beautiful at the end, couldn't it? Might not even be what you expected. You just got to keep chipping away. I think that makes sense. And so to keep chipping away, it's okay to put the hammer down. It's okay to do that and to say, look, you know, my problem is I am absolutely burned out. If we want to start there, all the other things are coming, you know, solving problems I'm not solving any problems because I'm burned out. Well, how do I cope with it? Sometimes I even go to work more, or I'm not coping with it, or I I drink and then I pass out, and then I have to have the day off work, and then everyone hates me, and like, how do I cope with it? One of the things that I need, how effective my coping strategies. Got them here. Got the links in chat. Copy and paste. I mean, you can still use this. Paste that into chat. And how effective are my coping strategies? Like for me, drinking. When I was burned out, I used to go get down the pub, spend a weekend in the pub. And the cons, well, it didn't really deal with my burnout. What else could I try and do to cope? Take my mind off it. We haven't got to this bit, but I'm going to put this here. This is the main key, the critical factor of most mental health technique, really, isn't it? Distraction is when things are difficult to face. You don't actually have to keep looking at them. You don't have to keep staring at them. Distract yourself from the things that make you feel bad, and we will come to a better future in time. Like, time does help, so you can't get through that time without distracting yourself sometimes. Like I said earlier about watching a Rick and Morty or something, doing anything that's not focusing on the thing. Because see this thing here as well, one of the problems is I'm burned out, but I keep thinking about the problems. I keep thinking about them, and every time I think about them, it makes me feel worse, and it makes me, like, it de-energizes me. I've learned this through a hard lesson over life, that facing them sometimes when I'm not ready, I'm not prepared, when I'm not like physically ready, de-energizes me. I just want to look away. So the problem is that you're burned out, and it's making more problem, isn't it? So distraction, looking at something else, playing a video game, watching Asmongold, whatever it is, distraction actually can help. Just for that few hours, just lighten the burden. And then maybe you can look at things with a fresh light, with a fresh gaze. My top tip for someone who said the things they've said, the Commodore said here, I worry about them. I worry about them. They're quite heavy things. No future, nothing to look forward to. The things I did want to say instinctively were, this is silly that I'm saying them, because I know that Commodore, they're not going to take it for. How do I arbitrarily tell them about their life? Obviously I can't. They know more about their life than I do, but I was trying to put the point in that there are futures, whether you're part of them or not. Your role, your task is to create them for yourself, to put yourself in places where you're enjoying those futures, and to be optimistic, hopeful for the future, to be building towards the future, because the other option ain't no good. And all this depression and negativity and stress and pressure, it, as we've seen about fact checking our thoughts and coping strategies, sometimes our coping strategies come with the cons that they're actually making things worse. Sometimes that's the case. So we can get to a resolution. At the moment, we're just floating in the sea and holding on to each other. But trust me, I've got a boat. It's coming. Hold on. That's the key. That's the first critical key. I keep going back to, you knew it was coming. You can't do it without a bit of the old if, can you? You can't do it without a bit of the old if. Having things to inspire you, having things to keep you locked in, keep you on course or whatever, having these things to keep keystoning you back are important as well. Which was the one that I was going to say about then. About the future. If you can dream, this is one of the famous lines, isn't it? If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim. Because it's important to have goals, isn't it? It's important to have dreams, but to sit and think about them all the time and to worry about them and the problems, that's not necessarily the best thing. If you can think and not make thoughts your aim, it's important to have these ideas, but sometimes you just got to do things. You just got to get through the time, haven't you? You just got to distract yourself. If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same, at the end it's all the same, isn't it? It's an interesting one. It's one of them. I love all of them. Really, I love all of them. But it's an interesting one, isn't it? Triumph and disaster are imposters. What does that even mean? What is he even talking about? They're imposters. Well, you know, I'm not king of the world forever, and I'm not scum of the earth forever. I'm none of them. I'm just a human being floating. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? If you win the big cup and the big tournament and you're the big winner, then next week you go back to the competition and, you know, it's a new competition and you lose and you come last. If you go home and you if it means so much that you have that cup and that win, when you lose and come last, it's going to feel terrible. It's an imposter, mate. It's neither. Don't over-egg yourself. Don't do yourself down. Bit more neutrality on that. It's worth thinking about. These sort of things are important when you're trying to get through. What was it I was going to say about feel like no future, nothing to look forward to, and we don't know. We don't know. Talk about fact checking earlier on. I have no future as a statement. Is that a fact or an opinion? You might feel it's a fact. I don't know. I don't know. It might be an opinion. You might win the lottery. I mean, it's an outside chance, but you might win the lottery. Yeah, you might. It's got to be an opinion, hasn't it? It's got to be an opinion. Burned out was a fact. You know that you're burned out. And nothing to look forward to. Again, I think that's opinion. You might think it's a fact. You might feel like it's a fact. But maybe think about it. Is it a fact or an opinion? Can we think of anything that you could look forward to? Could we put anything down on paper that you might want to look forward to? And could we sort of manifest it and make it happen? These are all important things. I am now approaching, have to go and walk the dog time. So, Commodore 265, please don't feel abandoned. But I'm going to go. But honestly, they've got a massive resource here for you. We've got a massive resource. Maybe I'm not on my game quite sometimes when someone just pops into chat and says, I feel, you know, maybe I don't know all the right things to say all the time. That's human, isn't it? I'm not promising you that I can fix your problems overnight. I am promising you that they can be addressed and improved. I am promising you that. One of the things that you can do is you can check out Mental Health Monday, which is our channel. You're now part of it. It's on YouTube. And we've got loads of videos here. Loads of videos. So, and unless you've watched all of these, you're not allowed to do anything drastic. All right, nothing drastic until you've watched all of these. But there is something here that can help you. I'm sure. I'm sure there's something there that can help. And continued. We're going to, keep coming back every Monday. We're going to improve it. I would love it if, in time, Commodore 265, even if you don't ever talk in chat again, I'd love it if you felt yourself that through this year you've gone on some sort of journey and improved, and that these statements that have been made here in chat. Are you back? Okay. I'm just saying goodbye to you, Chuffer. What I'm saying is there's a lot of resource here on Mental Health Monday. This is our YouTube channel. It's got loads of videos. It's got loads of them. I've been saying loads of stuff that that's all right. It's fine. We will be back next week at 8 PM GMT as well. So what I was saying was, you can skip back because for the last half hour I've been talking to you and you've not been here, you naughty. You've got the Kanji Puka Warriors here. They're helpful, chatty people as well. But what I was saying is, there's lots of resources. I would like it if, over time, we could revisit these feelings and just, see if they still hold weight. But it has to be over time. I think it has to be over time. So your homework this week is to see, look, roasting marshmallows. There you go. That's a positive. There's something you like. Eat some marshmallows. There's your homework. Everyone's homework is to use this form. Copy. Use this to try and examine our thinking. Try and see whether there are any pros and cons to our strategies, whether they're working for us or not. We've been talking today, you can review today's episode as well, just immediately after it finishes. We've been talking about fact-checking our thoughts and whether they're facts. And I was just saying then, I think it's important I'll say it again, that no future, nothing to look forward to. I have no future. I mean, I feel like that sometimes. It's an opinion, it's fact. I'll tell you what, one of the things that's fact is we're all going to die. That is a fact. We are all going to die. How and when, totally unknown. But the fact that, you know, the future is uncertain, absolutely. But the fact that it ends for us all, absolutely as well. Comforting, yeah. It's not very comforting, is it? You know, but we don't all sit and think about it all the time. But it's the truth. So what we do sit and think about is the things we can do before then. The life that you live before then. What about transhuman? Okay, I'll look into that because I don't even know what it is. This had better not come up with something that's going to get us bundled off of the social and philosophical movement devoted to promoting the research and development of robust human enhancement. Oh yeah, cool. So yeah, like who knows what's happening in the future here? We could totally get you implanted with a chip, and then you could totally download yourself onto the mainframe. Yeah, so you know, even then, so maybe you don't even have to die. See, look, you're the positive one. So the deal is that we don't know what's in the future, whether it's a fact or an opinion. I have no future has to be an opinion. I don't want to tell you what you think and feel. I want you to discuss it with yourself. And the other one was keeps moving the chat. I have no future and nothing to look forward to. So I guess writing a list of things that we want to create to look forward to is another good you know, at the moment it might be fact that I don't have anything I want to look forward to. But if I made a list of things that I could create, even like, you know, even transhumanism, I want we only sometimes use a Ecosia when it's easy. We just you know, we could I mean, this is just silly in a way, but I actually am interested in seeing what happens. I don't think they should be firing the money off to Mars. I think we should use the money on Earth to help people. But, you know, I want to live as long enough to see what happens with the Mars trip. Even if it's just that, you know. There's a goal, isn't it? There's a goal. There's something to look forward to. See if Elon Musk blows up all his money in space. Or if there's anyone on Mars, you know. I don't know. But yeah, try and if that's silly, and if it's silly, what about I want to look forward to having my own swimming pool, or I don't know, I want my own swimming pool. Then we can start to even strategize on how to get somewhere. Then we start doing things and going places. I wonder if we couldn't look back on this in a few weeks and months and see if you still feel that way. Because also, it is dark. It's January. It's tough. Life is tough at the moment. Things are tough. You're not wrong to feel like that. You're not wrong to feel like that. But, and society, you know, the structure and the system, it's not out there trying to like help you feel any better. So you're not wrong to feel like that. But I hope that in time, with regular, use the Mars money to mine the asteroid belt, Chinese called. Yeah, exactly. See, there is something to look forward to. I hope that by regular returns, by me being here more consistently, by you seeing and being part of the Ganji Puka Warrior crew, and you can come here every Monday, 8 p.m. GMT. We also stream on Twitch on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. We're on YouTube at 1 p.m. GMT in the week. You know,
you're right, born to kill on your helmet, and you wear a peace button. Was that supposed to be some kind of signal?
I think I was trying to suggest something about the duality of man, sir.
Thanks for the tippies. I got the stream bot to tell us in chat that you've sent the tippies, but you don't need it because it comes up on the screen, doesn't it? So that's like double. It's double. Yeah, I hope that through the journey we can hopefully go somewhere and you can look back maybe at those thoughts and maybe think differently in the future. And if you agree with me that that's an option and a possibility, that's all we need at the moment, is just that that's a possibility, then I feel like we're on the way to somewhere better. So talking about being on the way to somewhere better, in the UK it's now coming up to 10 o'clock GMT, and I need to walk my dog because otherwise he's going to need to do a poo and he won't. I'll have to pick it up off the carpet. So that's not. There's no. This always has to end at 10 o'clock. It's nothing personal to anyone, even if there were people on the line that really needed. You know, this is why I said about Samaritan's Lifeline. They might not have worked for you thus far. But you never know, maybe you get someone good this time. That's why I always bring those up, because I can't be here. Like, I have to go and walk the dog. But there are some positives, aren't there? There are some positives to be thinking about. And even if it's only hanging on so we can see what Elon Musk does with his money, if Dogecoin goes to the moon or not, there are some positives. We will be here with you going through it together. We have got a lifeboat that we are building. It's Mental Health Monday. We are floating in the sea in our life jackets in a big group, pulling each other onto the boat. You know, we're not up there in some big tower, weeing on the sea, throwing down like, oh, here's a life jacket, oh, I'll have that. We're in the boat together. We're in it together. So just, you know, we'll hold on to each other and we will not let go. And so that I hope that makes you feel in some way better, because, you know, you found somewhere now. Maybe it's fate, maybe it's the way things are, but you found somewhere where there are people that will care, that will be here next week, that want you to be here next week. You know, now you've got a reason to get through to next Monday. I'm counting on you. No pressure. No pressure. But you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. It does matter. I don't know if this is a funny one that I always say as well. Do you ever remember anyone in your life that was there for a bit and then wasn't there, and you miss them? You miss them. And like, I don't want to make you feel bad, but what I want you to realise is that you are that person for other people. If you weren't there, other people would miss you. Oh no, they wouldn't. They wouldn't miss me. They wouldn't miss me. I'll tell you, the people that I missed that didn't even know I would miss them. They didn't even know I was there. They cared that much. Do you know what I mean? They didn't even know that I was their friend. We only talked briefly in the pub every now and then. But when they went away, I missed them. I did. You know, you've had people like that in your life as well. They might not have been your auntie or uncle or close relative. They might have just been someone in a different class or a different, you know, part of the work. But suddenly they were gone. Maybe tragic. Maybe they just moved. But suddenly they were gone. You missed them. You didn't know you would. You didn't know they were important to your life until you're like, I miss them. You're that person for other people. You don't feel in yourself maybe that you're important or valuable or that people will miss you. But I just explained a situation that you know in your heart of hearts you understand. Like, I know people that are gone and I miss them. They didn't know I never told them I was going to miss them. You're that person for other people. So don't, you know, we will miss you. Other people will miss you. And in time, things will be different. Different better, hopefully. Different worse, sometimes. And that's the life. That's the life. We struggle on with these things. We push through. And we carve out a bit of a statue. We do our best. So you be good, my little Pukos. I'm going to have to go and walk the dog, like I said. I'm really glad that we've got a new Ganji Puka Warrior crew. You're going to be inducted. If people come around in the night and drag you out of bed and put a thing on your head and take you down and the questions, that's the Ganji Puka Warriors. Don't worry about that. Don't worry, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. I say it's not going to happen. No, it's not going to happen. Look. We're nice people who care on the internet enough to the point of doing it once a week at least. I care 1/7 of a week's worth of content. That's how much I care. And honestly, we're here, you're here, so now you're one of us. So it doesn't matter what else goes on out there in the world. You're one of us. You've got this. We'll see where it goes. Yeah, into the future. I mean it. So you be good, my little Pukos. And if you can't be good, then I'm going to come around your house and kidnap you in the night for questioning.